Think about your ideal client. Maybe she's a busy professional or a growing family. She's interested in design, but she doesn't live and breathe it like we do. She's probably never worked with a designer before, or if she has, she might still be unsure what to expect. Your studio portfolio is the first chance you will get to bridge that gap. This kind of communication sets the tone for your entire client relationship. It helps people self-qualify. It gives them the confidence to move forward because they understand what they're signing up for. Welcome to the Design Dialogues, the podcast where we dive deep into the business of interior design. I'm Beth, the founder of More Time to Design and a designer with over 13 years of experience. I'm here to help you navigate the challenges of running a successful studio, whether you're a solo designer or leading a team. Each week, I chat with industry experts and share practical insights to help you streamline your processes, grow your business, and create a studio that thrives. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy our Design Dialogues. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Design Dialogues podcast, and it is a solo with Beth episode. Today we're talking about something that every designer thinks they have sorted, but in reality, most of us are only scratching the surface. Today, I am talking about the studio portfolio and why it's so much more than just a collection of pretty pictures. By the end of this episode, I really want you to walk away with a fresh perspective on how to use your portfolio as a communication tool that sets expectations, explains your process, and helps you build trust from the very first conversation. Now, when most of us think of a portfolio, we picture a glossy PDF or a Pinterest-worthy website page filled with hero shots of our best work. And yes, those images are really important. A strong visual impression is key. But here's the thing, a portfolio that only shows the final images is kind of like showing a wedding photo album to explain what marriage is like. It tells part of the story, but it skips all of the nuance, all the steps, the conversations, the decisions, the expertise. A great studio portfolio doesn't just say, look what I made. It says, here's how I work and what it's like to work with me. So if your studio portfolio isn't just pretty pictures, what is it? Your portfolio isn't just a marketing asset. It is a communication tool. Think about your ideal client. Maybe she's a busy professional or a growing family. She's interested in design, but she doesn't live and breathe it like we do. She's probably never worked with a designer before, or if she has, she might still be unsure what to expect. Your studio portfolio is the first chance you will get to bridge that gap. When you include clear, process-driven storytelling in your portfolio, you're showing your potential clients what you do, how you do it, and how it feels to be in the passenger seat while you're steering the ship. That is really powerful. This kind of communication sets the tone for your entire client relationship. It helps people self-qualify. It gives them the confidence to move forward because they understand what they're signing up for. Not just how something's going to look at the end, but also how it's logistically going to work and how they are going to feel throughout the process. And it saves you time because you're no longer explaining your process from scratch in every single consultation. So what makes a portfolio a communication tool, not just a gallery? Here's a couple of things that I would recommend that you include in each featured project. So in a couple of sentences, you want to actually talk about what the client brief was for that project. Who were they? What did they do? What were they struggling with before you came into their project? The next is you want to allude to what your role was. Were you full service? Was it decorating only? Renovation support? Spell it out. This is where you start setting expectations about the scope of what you do. Then you want to show your process, just some of it. Show the stages, some mood boards, floor plans, behind the scenes moment. It doesn't have to be perfectly polished, but it's showing them what some of the deliverables are that they can expect throughout their project. Then it's always great to show client feedback. How did this project make your client feel? Did they feel more confident in their space to entertain friends and family? Were they thrilled with how stress-free the experience was? Just put in a couple of quotes. It really helps. You want to use the visuals in this as not just simply before and after, but you have to help bridge the gap from how did you get from the before to the after. What you're doing here is showing, not telling. You're weaving your process and professionalism into the work you're proud to showcase. Now, you might be thinking, Beth, isn't that what my welcome guide or service guide is for? And yes, those are important documents, but they usually come after someone's reached out. Your studio portfolio, it should be the first thing someone sees when they inquire. This is your opportunity to communicate your value even before you have spoken to them. Clients aren't just choosing a style, they're choosing a person to guide them through one of the most emotional and financially significant projects of their life. A portfolio that shows your work and your way of working makes that decision easier for them. I want you to think of your portfolio like a conversation starter, not a silent slideshow. Because the truth is, a lot of clients are going to be nervous. A lot of clients are not going to know what the process is that an interior designer can help them with. They're not sure what's normal. They're afraid of making expensive mistakes. And they often assume designers are going to push them into things they don't understand. When you walk them through your process via your portfolio, clearly, calmly, and confidently, you're not just selling a service. You're saying, I've done this before, I've got you, and here's exactly how it's going to work. That's what builds trust, that's what gets you hired, and that's what leads to clients who respect your boundaries, timelines, and fees. So, are you starting to feel like your portfolio could use a little refresh? Here's a couple of things to get you started. Firstly, pick 2 or 3 projects you're most proud of. We don't need a lot of projects. People's attention spans are short. So just pick 2 or 3 where the process runs smoothly and the outcome reflects your ideal style and services. If you have a project that you sit back and think, if I could just do that project over again, have those same clients, the same process, the same output, then that's the one you want to show off. Okay, the next thing is write a short narrative for each project based on the structure I shared earlier. You want to say, this is what their problem was, this is how we solved it, and this is the outcome. And then add in some progress photos or design documents to show some of the deliverables that they will receive throughout the process. And then make it client friendly. Don't use too much industry jargon. You're not trying to impress other designers with this document. You're trying to make your future clients feel informed and comfortable. The main thing that you need to feel like you're communicating in this document is you are communicating your process clearly. So your studio portfolio is more than a visual brag book. It's a conversation tool, a trust builder, a way to educate and empower your future clients before you even meet. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be intentional. If this episode has given you a little nudge to refresh your portfolio or finally put one together, let me know. I love hearing how you take these ideas and make them work in your own way. And if you'd like some help structuring yours, this is something that we cover in the course, The Process. We talk about the 3 key documents that you need to have and that you need to be using in your client onboarding, how you take an inquiry into a signed contract with ease. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to seeing you at our next Design Dialogue. Thank you for listening to this Design Dialogue. I hope you have found it full of inspiration and helpful information to take into your design studio. If you like the podcast and want to hear more, consider sharing it or writing a review, as it helps us reach more people, and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If you would like to unlock the power of effortless studio management and elevate your design business to new heights, please follow the links in our show notes to see how more time to design can help you build a better business. Have a great week, and I will see you for our next Design Dialogue.